Howdy friends, welcome back to the House of Tone. My name is Wes Lee. I'm a professional band instrument repair technician. I started a YouTube channel to show what my life is like in the trades. I appreciate you stopping by my shop today. Today's video is requested from some young cats that are newbies in the trade. They don't have a lot of experience. And so what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about French horns. This is all in specific detail of the video that everybody says looks like Harry Potter's sorting hat. But these guys and gals have asked me some specific things about the bell throat area and how I approach doing dent work in that area. And so that's what we're going to target in this video. I've actually got some horns that are coming out of the soup now. I'm going to finish getting them washed, then I'll dry them, restring the rotors, and then we'll just jump right on into the dent work. Okay? Let's go. Let's do it. Good to see you. These are the dents in question. They flatten about halfway in on the radius, and then this section goes even deeper. It's got several cuts, this deep dish, and then several other dents right down in here. Now, what I want to show right off the bat is you can see this crease on the top of the bell. And what this is from a tool. That is from a tool. That is from a previous repair where someone pushed a high spot. And you can really see it comes all the way down. You'll see on the rod. I'll show you when we get to the rod. But what we're going to do is we're going to start down here and we're going to work our way up. So we have to be wary of that. And I'm going to draw you a bad picture to show what this looks like. On a normal bell, it is going to be circular shaped, right? Once it gets dented, it's circle and then goes across like this. What has happened on this bell, when we zoom in, see it's right here. You can see that the bell material has been pushed. So what happens is your bell ends up going back, instead of being round, now that the dents are out, the tool mark actually makes a peak like this. The other thing that will happen, we don't really have it on this, but these creases, the cuts, what we'll see if we take this from a cross section is that when the bell comes back up, has a dent, goes along, has a dent, goes along. What we will see is that the dent ball will push more here, and more here, and more here. So what actually happens is this gets distended, and then there's a crease, and then it gets distended, and then there's a crease going down. And I've talked about this in some other videos, and I actually held it up to the light and showed how I made all of this blend like it's supposed to again, right? But these are the things that we are fighting. So you have to raise the low spots without blowing out the high spots. And then the arc, when you're looking across the bell, has to be right, and there can't be any tool marks. This is terrible. You can't have that. You want it to be round when you're done, okay? So that's what we're shooting for. And all of that is taking place in the bell that we've got going. I'm going to start with a straight rod with the largest of these style dent balls. I like to use Super Lube as my grease. If I haven't talked to you or you haven't heard about me talking about this grease, this is food grade grease. So you're not breathing or touching petroleum products. I have switched to this for all of my tools. I've noticed it makes my hands feel better. I have a cut on my left hand that I've got bandaged up, but I just didn't want y'all to have to see that. So that's why I'm wearing gloves today. So if we're going to start here, and we can just see how riddled with dents this is. And I'm just going to come in and I'm going to target my focus right across here. And you're going to actually see this ridge get brought out. See me moving the ball. So I'm just coming across. My goal here is to make this just as smooth as I can get it. The trick to doing this dent work, you want to put enough pressure till you can see the ball. So it's right here. It's tracking right here, see? And then you want to add enough force that you can pop the dent out. But not so much force that you're blowing it out the other side. So you can see here, this is where I stopped, and this is where we're going. This is that crease. I'm not going to try to match this crease. I have another way that I'm going to blend this back in. So coming across the logo and onto this other side. I'm only going to about the bottom of the logo. I have other tools that I can use for the rest of that. And once again, I'm coming right up to where that hard crease is. Now the other thing that we're doing, let me back this out, is I'm constantly checking the flow of my light line right here. See? So this is the spot under the logo where I stop, and I'm bringing all of this back around, and it just rolls. It doesn't, see how this catches in the light, and this doesn't. This just rolls, and it's already taking on its smoother metalwork appearance. We've got a dent. Let's see if I can, there it is right there. You just want to be able to track where your dent ball is. Okay? And then on this side, the light line is straight. Coming back up, you're going to see that ridge right there. See that point? That's the oblong. Okay? And then back to my side where I was first doing. Okay, and we have a little bit more to do right in there. So let's jump you back out. Let me get in there and work a little bit. So here we are. Little bit of a dish right there. See that? I think I bumped the camera stand. Nice and smooth all the way through here. Nice and smooth all the way through here. Boom. There's the high ridge from the tool mark. Come around to the other side, nice and smooth. I want to go ahead and show you how to burnish this. This is the area where we were just working. We're nice and smooth. See how this light line comes down? This is nice. And then if you look in here, make my arm as a center line, you can see where it breaks and there's a point here and here. I'm trying to use this light that I've got set up on this side to refract. But as we turn, boom, there's a high spot right there. You can see it. That's that ridge, okay? And so I'm gonna set this in my fixture. I'm gonna use a straight knife edge burnisher, and I'm gonna work it across the back. And you can see me just touching it with nothing on it. The metal is moving, right? Okay, so this process of burnishing this is not just, you're not just having to just put a bunch of force against it, okay? We're trying to manipulate the brass just as gently as we can. Ordinarily, I would still be using the super lube, but because I want you to be able to see, I'm going to coat it in paraffin. And we're going to watch this ridge. See how this is moving? They make curved burnishers. I like these straight ones. Now, if you notice right here, there's a high spot, and I'll actually tap this down. Clean that off. So you can see now how much more blended everything is. Let me back off the screws. And as we rotate that, see, there's no ridges and no high spots in this area where we worked. So now as I work my way onto the interior of the instrument, I'm going to pay particular attention that I don't put any tool marks in this. And by me doing this first, you know that I didn't put any tool marks in it. Let's set up for our next operation. Select the dent rod that has the same profile of where you want to work. This rod has two profiles, one that really curves around more to get up here, one profile to work this area. I want to use as large of a dent ball as I can. You should be able to see just by running your dent ball in there, you should be able to see where it's at. Okay, so we're going to start with these. And I just want to ease in where I can see it. And then bring it up. Okay, here we have a cut. You can see that the cut is still there and it's high-sided on either side. I'm going to take my Sharpie and I'm going to mark this spot, and then I'm going to move on. I'm doing the sides, back across the top, and I'm making sure that the dent ball is the only thing making contact. Nothing is happening down here. I've already done this. I don't want to deal with it anymore, right? So now I've gone from here, saw about this cut dent, which you can still see right there, all the way up to here. This is where the dent ball stops. It's not as far as I can go with this tool, but as far as this dent ball is. By having the dent ball as large as I can inside, it's not going to punch as hard. You've heard me talk about that before. punchy and not punchy. The smaller the ball, the punchier it is, the more control you have to have. If I'm just doing general stuff and I'm just trying to get general things kind of put back where I want them to go, I'm going to use as large a ball as I can. Now, if you also look, my light lines are already straight. See, everything is really nice. I'm liking where this is. I'm liking where this is. It's just smooth coming across here. It's the same on the other side. It matches on the other side. So I've gotten up to here, and this is where my dent ball is stopping. I am going to go ahead and talk about our first little bit of dent hammering. We're going to work this spot. This is our spot. You can see where the light line is disconnected. It's just kind of like a broken line. Boom, right there, right there. And then it's kind of like it's a zigzag. It kind of goes this way, then it cuts back this way, then it goes back that. So what I've got is a high spot on this side and a high spot on this side. What I want to do first is I want to chase this back to the center with a wide chasing hammer, and I'm going to try to knock down those high spots. I'm going to go flat side. And if you can see, maybe 3/8 of an inch, and letting it fall under its own power. The motion is I'm holding it, all my index and thumb are holding this, middle finger and ring finger controlling it to keep it from flying out of my hand. So I'm not hitting this hard at all. It takes a few licks for the brass to warm up, and then you will actually start to see it moving. And what I'm doing is I'm blending it to the light lines that are around it. I want those lines to be nice and straight. Now let's have a progress check. So everything, I'm dropping a little bit right there. Right there. But all of this, nice and smooth, nice and straight. I got a little outside the progress area here by my thumb, I can take care of. All right, up to the top, you can see the top of the cut dent, and then there's a ridge where I had stopped. Okay? It's about blending, so you may have to get out where I drew the Sharpie line. That's just our reference for where the dent is. Your blending may have to go a little further. And over time, you'll know that. So this is nice, 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 nice. Okay, now let's go back and get those low spots. Now there was one that was by my thumb that was down here, so we'll take care of that first. And just like with a tapered mandrel, I want to put that ball right up under the center of that cut dent, and it's going to want to come out easier this time. And I'm still using the largest ball that I can under it. All right, and that popped. We just saw it go, and now it's got a crown on it. It's a little bit of a high spot. So now I'm going to tap down that high spot. I want to be pretty specific to that high spot, but I also want to be paying attention to the other light lines around. And that's our spot. That's what we're after. You can see my lights up there. Everything's nice and straight. Boom, 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 boom. That continues. Now as we get to the top of the bell stem area, you'll notice how this is flat and even further inside, and it flares out. There's a couple of ways we could go about this, and I'm probably 50-50 on them. But when I see a really hard line, a really hard flat, I want to gently massage it back from where it came from instead of having to do that at the end. Sometimes I feel like it stretches the metal a little more than other times. This is one of those situations where I really see it flare out, and it's flaring in a couple of different ways. For this, I'm actually not going to use a dent hammer, a chasing hammer. I believe that I am going with a black plastic hammer today. I like the way those have been. And so, what I like about the black plastic hammers or the rawhide or even the canvas hammers is that they have a lot of smack to them, and they don't work hard in the material. You're not hitting it with a piece of steel. So if you wanted to hit it hard, you really could. We're not. I'm just trying to. The softer that you can make this, the easier it's going to go back where it was. I want to do that on both sides. But even so, this side, you can see it's much slower. It's not nearly as sharp as what this is. So there's not as much to do over here. The crease is the hardest part of the dent on brass. So if you were to do like a car and put an airbag in there and then poof it up, it would actually blow out this side because this is weaker than this crease. So that's something that you have to consider. But I've got that about where I want to go. Let's do some dent cam action because this is going to be a fun one to pull out. So you're just going to watch it come right across here. Once again, I want to use as big of a dent ball as I can get through there. I know there's a lot of damage in it. And this is also getting to be about where the rod changes profile. But I believe that I can get a little bit further in there. So we got some of that lifted out. Let's do some more. Yep, there we go. Remember, the only thing that's touching is the ball. Nothing is touching down here. Nothing from that rod, only the ball. Remember this cut, right? The first of those cut dents, that's the second one. This is the first one. You want to get the ball up under it and rotate it. Just like you were doing a traditional tapered mandrel. If you feel like you're getting stuck, stop. Circle it. Let's do some hammered work. The dent hammer is always your friend to do for blending, to do good metal work. You have to have control of your chasing hammers. I got a spot that I missed under my thumb right there. If it all doesn't want to come, don't force it. Come out, mark it. You know, it's got some waves in it right now. You know, that's okay. You're going to work these high spots. But you remember what this started as, right? I mean, that's the thing. If you keep the mountain range from happening, then you have less to clean up. Okay, still got my thumb on that dent. So I'm going to start there. I see one that I missed right here. I'm going to grab that. Now I'm going to come back into this area where I was. See that? Now everything is just really wanting to fall back into place because I'm not trying to, it's not hard, it's not going up and down with a bunch of waves and dips. I'm going to have less burnisher work to do in the end. See this section? This is really pretty good. See? No jagged marks. And that's what we're after. And we haven't been just overly aggressive. Come back, I see a couple more things I want to take care of down here. It's just hard for me to let go even if I'm doing a demonstration. Notice this is all straight, parallel as it's coming back up. Nothing's bumping out. As we go across the top, it's nice and smooth. We don't have any tool markings all down in this section. Everything is looking the way it's supposed to look. Another thing that I really like to do is I like to look across here. I like to line it up on something, typically a white piece of paper or something where I can see behind. But you can see my hand, that's pretty good. And I want the radius of what the bell was to, that's what I want it to be, right? That's what it's not supposed to be a mountain range. That's the way it's supposed to look right there, okay? This section turned out really great with just a little bit of hammer tapping. Where we brought this area up, I've got a little bit more work to do in here. I also want to go ahead and start roughing out this. I have to switch the end of the tool. So I'm actually going to do all of this. I'm going to tag this in with this. I've got the other side of this set up. And if you'll notice that the profile is different, the profile matches more to go around this area. Now I can still affect, I can do dent work here to here. I just have to be more careful down here because the profile is different. There's more chance for me to have a blowout here in this area. So I want to just kind of make a couple of little rough passes. That final big cut dent is here. And then I've got some little stuff that's right around in here. I'm being careful that I'm not getting hung up, see, back here, and I've got the ball in at full extension. I want to be able to get to the hand guard. You want to go from the outsides, right? Then this side on the outside, push the walls out, make sure that everything in the contour stays parallel stays round. You can visually stand here and look and see that everything is round, that it's not egg-shaped. And that's the whole goal. Dive in on this hammer tapping. Remember, I said I was gonna tie this area in with this area up here. Paying particular attention to my cut. Got some high spots. When you come here and you're on the bottom side, that's when you flip to the radius. The radius is going to pick up the bottom side and allow you to smooth that. If you use the radius and hit when you're out here, then you're going to put donkey tracks in. Watch, I'm going to make some donkey tracks right there. See that? I made a flat spot. Now, there's a time that you use that technique because you need to, we're going to do it on this cut dent actually. We're going to make this a smoother. So now notice I'm not glancing, I'm coming straight down. I'm trying to hit in the center of the cut. Now I've got it pushed in, and I'll tell you why I did that in just a second. And so you can see the dish right there. I'm coming across the top. I still haven't done where the cut dent, where we dished it. I haven't done that yet. I'm on the top, and I'm actually coming all the way back to where the cut is. You remember we had a dent that was underneath, so you're going to want to raise while pushing. Control the dent ball. You want to feel it. Now we're going to take out the last of that cut dent. So I made it from a sharp V, I made it into a dish. I don't have to be as exact to get it under this little tiny ball, under a very sharp thing, and not let it slide off to where it's going to make a mountain range. By taking the radius side of the chasing hammer and making it dish down, now I've got a longer dent to work with, to push against. So now I can just easily bring things up. And if I didn't dish it enough, I can dish it some more. It's okay. And I would actually maybe do that with a plastic hammer. I'm pretty happy with that. Now I'm going to do a little bit of blend tapping. So everything is tracking straight and true all the way down. We got rid of the tool marks from inside. All the way down, there's our logo where we started from. No bulges out the sides. Nice light lines. I left the marks for our severely damaged areas. That's it. That's what we're about. That's what we want to see. And that's how you do it. So this one came out really nice. I'm real happy with the way this turned out. I hope that this answers some questions for some of our new techs that are out there. Even if you're a seasoned tech, maybe you got some advice and tips and tricks out of this on maybe how to do some things. If you have different ways, of course I know everybody has different ways, feel free to put them in the comments. Yep. I always like when there's discussion down there. So, all right. Thanks everybody. I appreciate you. This is Wes Lee signing out.